Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. Thanks for staying with us. Acting Prime Minister Peter Turnquest dismissing claims that an increase in BPL's bill could drive the Bahamas into another recession.
That is not going to be the issue. The issue will be more towards what's happening in the global economy. It's going to be how or what the cost of Hurricane Dorian may be and how we react and finance that. But this is not going to drive us into recession. We do not see that in our immediate future. And we continue to watch global events. We continue to work on the fundamentals of our own economy to ensure that we have continued growth, that we continue to strengthen the fundamentals around the fiscal management of the public resources, and to ensure that we get value for money. So from our viewpoint at this point, we have no fear that we are in any kind of threat of recession.
Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Leader Chester Cooper criticized the government for allowing Bahamas Power and Light (BPL) to increase light bills following Hurricane Dorian. He claimed that the increase could cause a recession, but Mr. Turnquest said the economy has been growing over the last 3 years, and even though there may be a reduction in the growth this year because of the storm, he said he anticipates positive results at the end of the fiscal year. Mr. Turnquest added that the country is faced with significant debt, which he said the FNM government inherited from the previous administration.
Again, if we want to criticize and if we want to talk about what is controlling or driving the finances of the government, we have to start at the beginning. Where did this happen? And certainly the last administration ran up quite a debt.
Mr. Turnquest, who serves as Minister of Finance, said in August that the government will spare no finances to find a short-term solution to load shedding, which has affected BPL consumers. It's ridiculous to suggest that the opening of the Embassy of the Bahamas in Brussels, Belgium, is only an attempt to prevent the country from being blacklisted. Mr. Turnquest says so in his defense of the timing of the opening of the Bahamas Embassy and mission to the European Union. Some critics suggest that the opening was nothing more than to gain favor from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the European Union. Mr. Turnquest says the country is not facing blacklisting and has gotten favorable reviews from the OECD and EU. He added that progress from the Financial Action Task Force is proceeding in the right direction. Now, the finance minister says his ministry is continuing to work on areas that need curtailing to meet the expectations of the EU. The Deputy Prime Minister also took the time to defend the size of the delegation that traveled to Brussels, Belgium. He says the ministers that traveled with the Prime Minister were crucial for the opening of the embassy to enhance relationships and deepen the Bahamas' cooperation with the OECD and the EU. The country is in a very tender stage in rebuilding foreign visitors' arrivals post-Hurricane Dorian, and this is reason enough, according to Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar, that those in the hotel industry do nothing that can further negatively impact the tourism product. Mr. de Aguilar's comments shadow the threat from the taxi cab union to take industrial action this Thanksgiving if Transport Minister Renwick Wells does not meet with the union and resolve their issues. The tourism minister reiterated that any industrial action would be devastating at this stage.
We have to understand what we have gone through, and we have to understand where we are right now. And we have to, as much as possible, and without taking sides, put the interests of all of our citizens above our particular need right now.
So
we're in a very precarious position. Anything can upset the apple cart. And we must do everything in our power to ensure that the tourism sector stabilizes first before we can talk about we want to take this or take that industrial action.
Minister de Aguilar stressed that he is not taking sides in the matter, but asking for the union to take a step back and understand the state of the country.
I'm just asking them to, in this particular instance, more so than often, to step back and understand what we have gone through and understand where we are right now. You know, everybody's been working on 1 and 2 days and 3 days, and now this is about to be our busy period of the year. And this is the time for everybody involved in the tourism sector to go back up to full time. so we don't want to prevent many persons who are involved in the tourism sector from realizing their potential at this time of the year, and this is their monetary potential.
Bahamas Taxi Cab Union President Wesley Ferguson says since taking office, the Transport Minister made no progress in resolving their issues, and he reminded the minister that the union under his leadership does not make empty threats. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.